Come on in here. Come on in here. Come on in here. Come on, y'all. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on in here. I know it's late. I know it's late. I know it's late. But I promise you, the way I feel, I'm not going to hold y'all long. I'm not. I'm not. Come on, but I was determined to get this done tonight. Feeling bad and all, but come on. Come on, y'all. Come on in here. Come on in here. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, y'all. Come on. Come on. I'm going to get started in about another minute because I'm ready to go and lay back down. But y'all, come on. Come on. Come on in here. Come on in here. We gotta have this conversation, y'all. We gotta have this conversation real quick. I do it every year. I have to pay homage to Juneteenth like I do other things as well. And yes, there will be a segment on because I also know that June is Pride Month. Yes, I don't discriminate, but I will be having a quick topic, a quick little conversation about Pride Month before this month is over too. But y'all come on in here, come on, cause I'm telling y'all I feel bad, but I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this. But anyway, welcome, 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 welcome in, my kings and queens. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Make sure I got more water right here. Welcome in, y'all. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. I'm gonna put my chair up some. Welcome in, y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And welcome to Miss J's Unfiltered Talk Show and Podcast. Appreciate y'all being here. Hey, my love. Oh, saying good night. Okay, well, good night. Well, thank you for being in here. But welcome, welcome in here, y'all. Welcome. Yep. Well, tonight we're gonna celebrate Juneteenth by discussing the history, its significance, and the real truth behind why this day matters. Okay, it don't matter. It not only does it matter to African Americans, but to everybody. Okay, we're gonna talk about this. So the couple of topics I'm gonna hit. Thank y'all for being in here. I feel bad, y'all. But I'm in here. I'm ready. I'm gonna get this over with. I'm going to lay back down. Um, but tonight's conversation, I'm going to cover the history of Juneteenth, the journey from slavery to freedom, why Juneteenth matters, the truth behind the celebration, and a couple of facts um, that we were never taught. Okay, and what can we do to honor our ancestors and preserve our history? Promise you, it's not gonna be long. Thank y'all for being in here. Thank y'all for being in here. So, as you join this live, right? Y'all let me know where y'all watching from, and share it out. Invite people to the conversation too, right? But just remember, history isn't meant to divide us. It's meant to teach us. Okay? History is not meant to divide us. It is meant to teach us. And we need to know about our history. So let's look at the history of Juneteenth. So when we talk about Juneteenth, everybody look at it as being Freedom Day, right? But what is not fully understood is how it really began. Okay? How did Juneteenth really begin? So we know that back on January the 1st, yeah, I said January. Y'all know I'm just in countries I want to be. So y'all already know back on January the 1st in 1863. I didn't say 19. I said 1863, right? Abraham Lincoln, what he signed was what? The Emancipation Proclamation. Ooh, I said it right for the first time. Hmm. Kudos to me. Because I would always mess that word up. Emancipation. Yeah, I ain't going to try it no more. But y'all know that's what he signed, right? So that proclamation declared that enslaved people that enslaved people, Confederate states, were legally free. But see, here's the kicker right here. I'm gonna hit you in the head. That proclamation declared that enslaved people in Confederate states, and y'all know what the Confederate states mean. Y'all already know. Okay. And the Confederate states would be free. And they were legally free. But here what I'm gonna knock you in the head with. Here comes the issue. Here comes the issue. All right. So you got to look at the fact, just because freedom was declared, right? It didn't mean a hill of beans. It didn't mean that freedom was quickly given, with a better word to use. It didn't mean all of that. Okay? So many slave owners, what they did, they just said, we ain't gonna let these folks know they free. Yeah, we gonna keep right on working them. Okay? So what they did, they didn't play that law no mind. They didn't, as usual. Master them, they didn't pay that law no mind. They didn't. They ignored it. Didn't pay it no mind. All right? So what happened was, when the Civil War still began to fight, and enslaved people remained in bondage despite that law. Now but they didn't know they were free, but they still remained in. Master decided he wasn't gonna say nothing for a while. Okay, so they remained in bondage. Wow. They remained in bondage. Wasn't it dirty? Thank y'all for coming in here. But then came June 19th, 1865. I ain't say 1965. I said 1865. Now here come June, and I'm sorry to have hiccups, y'all. Here come June the 19th, 1865, right? Here it comes. It's coming. So what happened, that was more than 2 years. More than 2 years after they was granted legally free, after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. Okay? More than 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. And what happened? This Union man called General, I think I said his name right, General Gordon Granger. He decided he wanted to come all up in Texas. Okay, he came all up with his troops. Gordon Granger. Okay, this was in 1865. 2 years after our ancestors was free, but they didn't know it. Master, like I said, Master decided he wasn't gonna say nothing. Okay, but 1865, June the 19th, 1865, right? Gordon Granger decided he wanted to ride up in Texas with his federal troops. Okay. It was an order that was done, and it was an order that he came to announce. And that order was called General Order Number 3. General Order Number 3. What that was declaring all enslaved people free. 2 years after the fact. Now I would wonder what would make him want, who told him to come on 2 years afterwards. Did he make a decision to do it himself? We won't never know. But it was 2 years after our ancestors was legally free, but they didn't know it. It was behind this order, and it was called the General Order Number 3, and that was declaring our enslaved people free. Finally, keep in mind, they still didn't know. They were free 2 years, but they didn't know. Okay. That's what Gordon Granger did. He rolled up in Texas and said, this is what we gonna do. I gotta let these people know they've been free for 2 years. Here's this order, and you're gonna have to obey by. I told y'all I don't feel good. You're gonna have to abide by it. Okay? So imagine finding out that you were legally free but have been kept enslaved for more years. Imagine that. Imagine it would be the same thing if you found out for 2 years that you've been paying your landlord $300 extra by mistake, because one, you must have thought you saw in the contract that the rent was $800, but it really was $500. Just imagine that feeling you will have, that they have when they realize that we've been out here 2 years breaking our backs. Now we know. Imagine that feeling. Imagine finding that out, that they're making you work for 2 extra years, selling you off for 2 extra years. Come on, imagine that. Come on, imagine that. But see what happened in that moment. In that moment is what became known as Juneteenth. A combination of June and 19th. That's how that combination came about. A combination of June and 19th. All right. So many freed African Americans, which I don't like saying African Americans. I like saying brown skinned Americans. That's my terminology. Brown skinned Americans. This war, and this was their truth. This was their truth. This was their true Independence Day. That's why I make shirts that says July the 4th, but it's marked out, not my Independence Day. June 19th is. Yes. I had to put that in there. Yes. That was when it formed Independence Day. That was when it was formed Independence Day. That's what they called it. The Independence Day. So let's look at the journey real quick from slavery to freedom. And I don't know, when I say that terminology, slavery, y'all, it just puts something over me, but I know I don't even like the word bondage used that way. I just don't. But let's look at the journey real quick of slavery. So, the journey from slavery to freedom. You can just imagine how tough that road was. You can just imagine that, right? It wasn't easy at all. At all. Imagine that. Imagine that you being told when to eat, what to do, all of that by massa. It wasn't easy at all. Because millions of brown-skinned men and women and children continue to endure slavery in America. Many years. Matter of fact, more than 246 years. Got something in my pocket that I'm sitting on. More than 246 years. Millions of brown-skinned men and women and children continued to endure slavery in America. Wow. So what happened to the families when this happened? I'm going to look at y'all comments in a minute. What happened to the families when this happened? Number one, they were separated. The children were sold and taken away from their parents. They were denied education. You better not been caught in there reading the book. You better not. You'll get out there on that tree and master, he'll give you them whips. Deny education, and many were denied basic human rights. Now I got to say something about this. What gets me with this now is how a lot of people just throw away education and don't even understand how hard it was to even get to the point we can have education now. It's free. Taking it for granted. Our ancestors they were denied it. Better not read, and you better not let them know you know how to read. But here it is. A lot of people don't want to take advantage of it. Don't understand it. And again, basic human rights were just stripped away, and a lot of that is still going on right now. I gotta say that too. A lot of our human rights is still being taken away. A lot of our brown-skinned Americans, women, men, and children, human rights are being taken away. Yes, they are. As of today, still today. But through all of this, through everything our ancestors went through, y'all, and what they survived, this is what they did. This is what they did. Get it out of the way. This is what they did through all this turmoil they went through. This is what they did. They created families. They built communities. They developed churches. They passed down traditions from one child to the other, from their children. They did that. And they also had to find ways to keep what the late Reverend Jesse Jackson said, to keep hope alive. That's what they did. Going through all of that, they still was able to create families, to build communities, to develop churches. They will still see how determined we are. Even though our back to get up pushed up against the wall, see how determined we still can get. Even though you done beat our back for 100 licks, but see how determined we can be. Oh, don't start me up. See how determined we can be. Even through all of that, our ancestors were still able to build and create families, communities, churches. Come on now. Pass down their traditions. They were still able to do that. They didn't get that stripped. They were determined not to have that stripped away from them. But see, now this is the thing now. Even though slavery ended, freedom did not immediately begin equality. I'm going to say that again. Even though slavery ended, freedom did not immediately bring and begin equality. It immediately do that. Y'all know sometimes I can't talk. So the former slaves, the formerly enslaved people, this is what they faced. This is what they faced. They faced segregation, the Jim Crow laws, voting restriction. They still try to do that now. They still I said it. They still trying to do that now. Voting restrictions, violence, and intimidation. Sad part about it, through all of that, those struggles still continue through generations. Key word, keep that in mind. All of that still struggled through generations. Still did that. But then, here we go. The civil rights movement would later become another chapter in the fight for freedom and equality. And y'all know about the civil rights movement. Y'all know Reverend Al Sharpton start marching in the heartbeat, and y'all know Martin Luther King was doing the same thing too. Y'all already knew about that civil rights movement, and how they're trying to say that it's a game. Really? Go somewhere, sit down. But the civil rights movement would later begin another chapter in the fight against freedom and equality. Now we gotta understand, Freedom was not no type of destination at all. It became a continuous journey for them, continuous journey for our ancestors. But the sad part about that, that journey as of today, it still continues. Mm, it still continues. So somebody may ask, well, why did Juneteenth matter? Here we go. Understanding where we came from helps us understand where we are going. Bottom line, understanding where we came from, our ancestors came from, where we came from, it helps us be able to understand where we freaking going. That's why it matters. You got to understand from point A to point B, right? You got to do that. So, what Juneteenth does, it reminds us that freedom should never be taken for granted. Freedom should be never taken for granted. It shouldn't. Now, when I saw that, I got to thinking. I feel like a lot of us take freedom for granted. Take it for granted. Think we're going to have it all the time. And some of them get out here be making all these crazy mistakes and problems. Now what? Now your freedom is gone. Now you back over there locked up in prison. Now you ain't in slavery, so to speak, but you in prison now. Your freedom has been taken away from you. Took it for granted. 3-strike law. Doing it again, huh? Okay. Taking it for granted. Hope y'all getting this. Hope y'all understand this. Juneteenth was Juneteenth to us, it means that and freedom should never be taken for granted. Don't take it for granted. Don't take your freedom for granted. And like I said, a lot of people doing that. It reminds us that progress often comes with sacrifices. It reminds us that progress often comes with sacrifices. Yep. Also, what it does, it teaches resilience. It teaches resilience. You know, our ancestors got to have to have had some serious resilience to come back like some of them did. It teaches resilience and perseverance as well. Y'all got to excuse me because I really don't feel good. But the main thing, it teaches us value in our community. And a lot of that, to me, I feel, my personal opinion, has fallen off. We don't have communities like we used to have. We don't. We don't have a community where if your child, I'm going to look at the comments in a minute, where your child does something and the mother come and talk to you and you sit down and y'all have a conversation. We can't do that no more because people get all mad. Our community, our real community is lacking value now, in my opinion. In my opinion. In my opinion. So Juneteenth matters because it also gives us an opportunity to honor people who survived unimaginable hardships. So future generations like us, and like the ones coming after us, and the ones going to be coming after us, future generations could have opportunities that they never had. It's so many opportunities, and it just behooves me why I just see a lot of our brown skinned young ladies and men that done graduated 3, 4, 5 years ago and just not doing nothing with their life, not taking, getting the opportunities. Take it. Take advantage of it. Our ancestors couldn't do it. Look at what they endured so we can do it. so we can take advantage of the opportunities that they never had. You got to understand that every right, listen now, every right that we enjoy today was built on someone else's back and courage. Every right that we are entitled today was built on someone's back and courage. Every opportunity that we have today was purchased through someone else's sacrifice in some kind of way. They had to give up a child. They were sold. They sacrificed. Juneteenth reminds us to never forget that. Every right that we enjoy today, I'm going to say that again, every right that we enjoy today was built on someone else's back and courage. And every opportunity that we have was purchased through someone's sacrifice, our ancestors. Juneteenth reminds us, when Juneteenth come around, that reminds us to never forget that. Never forget that, what our ancestors went through. What your grandmother or what your grandmother went through, what your grandmother, mother went through, what your daddy, what your daddy and uncles and what our ancestors, our ancestors, our ancestors, what they went through. So when we get out, we celebrate Juneteenth, right? I'm getting ready to close in a minute, y'all. Oh, let me take a look at my thank you, feel better. Educate them, sis. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for being in here too. I appreciate it. I know it's late, but I'm determined to do this. So, y'all know we do our celebrations and stuff, right? We get out, we celebrate and all that. Okay, cool. But what is the truth behind that celebration? What is the truth behind that celebration? Let's talk about it. So, first of all, Juneteenth is not a black holiday. Juneteenth is not a black holiday. It's an American history. Let me ring my bell on that. Juneteenth is not a black holiday. It is an American history. Let that sink in. Juneteenth isn't about blame. It's about bringing awareness, bringing understanding, and bringing out the truth. Let the truth be out, come out. One truth that many people don't realize is that freedom did not arrive equality or immediately for everyone. I'm going to say that again. One truth many people doesn't realize is that freedom did not arrive equally or immediately for everybody. Y'all know, don't forget them 2 years, right? They still was in bondage. I hate using that word. It didn't arrive equally for everybody and immediately for everybody. It didn't, for everyone. It didn't. Here's another truth. Another truth is that many formerly enslaved people, they had to build their lives from absolutely nothing. They didn't have nothing. They didn't have no land, no money, no education, no definitely no protection. Didn't have nothing. Come on now. But yet, they still persevered. Our ancestors still pressed on and persevered. Didn't have nothing. Nothing. But they still persevered. See, that go to show, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it again. That go to show how us brown skinned people, men and women and children, y'all can push our backs up against the wall, but we still going to persevere. We still going to persevere. Yeah, I said it. Still going to persevere. Try to hold us down? Nah. We coming up. Some way, some fashion. We coming up. Another truth is that Juneteenth celebrations began long before it became a federal holiday. They will celebrate back then years ago, centuries ago, years ago, Juneteenth before it even became a holiday. They was having family gatherings and the communities were coming together. They was honoring their ancestors. All that was happening before it even came a holiday. Before it even came a federal holiday. Now let me say this, and it's a lot of Confederate businesses that don't even care about that federal holiday. You can take it if you want to, but someone give you points, all of that. They don't care. I said Confederate businesses, yeah. My nice way of saying it. Don't even care about it. Yeah, you can take that day, but I'm gonna give you some points. They don't care about it. Go figure. But yeah, they was having celebrations before Juneteenth even became a federal holiday. But see, these traditions kept the history alive though. Way long before it got all this recognition that it gets now. Those traditions that they were doing, it kept it alive. You got to think, our ancestors had to do something to keep their spirits up. Am I right or wrong? They had to do something. They had to do something. So, just a few facts many of us were never taught. The first one is the Emancipation Proclamation did not immediately free every slave person. Did not immediately free every enslaved person. Number two, many enslaved people in Texas did not learn that they were free until June 19th, 1865. Juneteenth celebrations have begun taking place since 1866. They have begun taking place since 1866. Many early Juneteenth celebrations included prayer services and gatherings and all, education events and stuff, family reunions and stuff they would have. That was number 4. Juneteenth became a federal holiday. Okay, let me ask this. Who can tell me when Juneteenth became an actual federal holiday? Who can tell me when Juneteenth became, I'll come back to it, when Juneteenth became an actual federal holiday? Number 6. My brown-skinned Americans view Juneteenth as their true Independence Day. And here's the reason why. Because it represented the day freedom was actually enforced in their lives. That's why. To me, these are important facts that we need to know, our history. Because knowing your history will also help us be able to understand. Knowing our history will also be able to help us understand our history. Knowing it so you can understand it. Okay? So, how can we honor our ancestors and preserve our history? How can we honor our ancestors and preserve our history? How can we do that? Here we go. First off, first you got to learn your history. We got to read books. Listen to your elders. Do y'all know? And this is what I miss about my grandmother. Our conversations you can have with an elder in their 80s or 90s, or is some that's living in a rest home right now, still talk, still know that in their right mind. You go and sit and talk to them. They can tell you some things. Oh my gosh, that's a way you can learn from your history. Listen to your elders. Go and visit the museum, some museums. Go do that, right? And definitely, if you got some educational programs, please support them. Please support them. Second way, share their stories. Talk to your children. Talk, talk to your grandchildren. Talk to your community. Share your stories. Share your stories. See, because if you don't tell your stories, someone else would let them be told, and they're going to be told wrong. Tell your story so you can tell it right. Don't rely on nobody else to tell it. Tell your story. The third one is support black businesses and organizations. Support black businesses and organizations. The reason why I pause just for a reason. Support black businesses and organizations that preserve culture and history. These are ways that you can honor our ancestors and preserve the history. Record your own family history. Ask questions. Write things down. Preserve photographs. Save family stories. See, God, the reason why you do it is because y'all know what? If you got some photos from your great grandmama's past and all, let's say she was 100 years old when she passed, and y'all got photos of her when she was young and photos of the family back then and everything. Those things can become so priceless. Hold on to them. Preserve that. Preserve that. And finally, live in a way that honors the sacrifices made before us. How? You may ask. Walk in dignity. Walk with purpose. And walk with gratitude. Our ancestors survived so we could thrive. I'm going to say that again. Our ancestors survived so we could thrive. In closing, tonight we remember, tonight we honor, tonight or tomorrow we will celebrate. Juneteenth is not just about the past, it is also the present and the future. It reminds us of the strength of our ancestors and the resilience of our communities and the responsibility we have to keep their stories alive. Know your story. Know where you came from so you can exactly know where you're going. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. Like I said, I feel bad, but I got up to come and do this. Sorry, I'm 2 hours late, but I'm in here. I came to do this. Um, but thank y'all for joining me tonight. All right, I really appreciate that. And until then, my kings and queens, remember, know your history, know your ancestors, protect your legacy, and always walk in your purpose. Happy early Juneteenth to my babies. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thank y'all so much for being in here. I really appreciate it.